Almost a couple of years ago now, I made a list on the top 10 swords in video games, knowing full well that I'd probably come back to the idea of weapons as a list idea in the future. And as it turns out, I've been playing a lot of games with a lot of silly guns in them recently, so I thought, top 10 silliest guns in video games. So how about we pull the trigger on this new video? Am I right? Am I right?
Top 10 silliest guns in video games! Hello, people of the United States. It is I, your president. The Vice President Keith David and I have been very busy curing cancer. And you know, fending off an alien invasion that threatens our entire world. No big deal. Now, let me ask you one simple question. Have you ever seen a more majestic looking leader of the free people? He kinda looks like Blanca. What started out as more of a grounded open world crime game became the epitome of a parody experience with the newer Saints Row games. I mean, in what other game do you play the President of the United States going around inside what is essentially the Matrix fighting aliens with superpowers? Well, none. There's no other game like that. It's a good thing too, because that's what makes this game stand out as open world sandbox fun. And nothing speaks louder to that fact than the weapons you get to use throughout the series. There's always been that crowd favorite, well, yeah. But since this list is about guns, I can think of no better choice than the Dubstep Gun. In order to get this gun legitimately, you'll have to do the first few missions of the game. This will eventually unlock a side quest called Campaign Trail of Destruction. Essentially, you just go from point A to point B following Keith David's orders. He'll have you running around, finishing some races, clearing out some bad guys, and jumping to pretty high places. But once you've finished all of that, your reward is the Dubstep Gun. My favorite thing about this gun has to be the fact that everyone stops to dance. But what might be even greater is the fact that it can be further upgraded and cause ultimate destruction.
Drop the bass.
Also, there's this thing. Now, South Park has always been a bit of a hit or miss show for me. But, I mean, that's just the nature of parody in general. And when it comes to video games based on TV or movies, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. And it doesn't even seem like until more recently developers have even had the technology or tools to truly bring a TV show like South Park to life. Like with the more recent Stick of Truth game. But back when the Nintendo 64 was king, we had this. It wasn't very good. Where exactly does this game even take place? Silent Hill? Well, the story of this game is that an asteroid is crashing towards South Park, making everything a little bit weirder. AKA turkeys! They're crazy. If there's one thing that South Park 64 does right, though, it's the weapons. You definitely have a variety of different things to use. You have a chicken that kind of acts like a sniper rifle. How about a gun that shoots piranhas?
Stupid turkey.
You got dodgeballs and plungers, Nerf guns and fart grenades. One of my personal favorite weapons has to be the alien Gizmo device. Technically, I probably wouldn't call it a gun, but it sure is entertaining.
Oh, when I get that feeling, I gotta sing. When I get that feeling, when I get that feeling, I gotta sing.
That device doesn't really do anything besides stun people and make them dance, so I'm not sure if you could really call that a weapon. But on the other hand, the cow launcher is clearly a gun.
Evil turkey die.
And a silly one at that. Because from your recollection, is there another gun out there that lets you launch physical cows at your enemies? And to make matters worse, if the cow doesn't kill them, the gaseous cloud will.
I fought on your grave.
The bubble gun from Just Cause 2.
That'll come in handy.
Is anyone else getting a serious case of deja vu? As it turns out, I've actually talked about this weapon before, and that's kind of why I put it a little bit lower on the list. For those of you who don't know though, you can get a bubble gun, which I basically have said twice now. It doesn't really do anything besides, you guessed it, shoot bubbles. Which, by by itself, I know, is not inherently silly. That is until you realize all the AI associated with the gun is still intact, which essentially means you can go around town messing with people and they actually think you're shooting at them. Bubble fight!
Hey, he got dogs! He got dogs!
To the soil of Panau and attack police officials with machine guns.
Wow, you guys seriously don't even know how to fun. Aw, hey there, don't look so down. I know it'll cheer you up. Bubbles! Armed and Dangerous is kind of a hidden gem of sorts. I'd actually never even heard of the game or played it until now. And it was developed by LucasArts? What cosmic forces have been keeping me from this game? A game that's based on a true story, I mean, clearly. I mean, what true stories don't include an anthropomorphic mole, a psychic, and an elite soldier robot who is self-aware? And drinks tea. Also blow things up, boom! If you can't already tell, this is a third-person action parody game, and you'll find that fact most famously represented by the shark gun. During one of the early stages, Liberate Fjorkin Village, you'll have to take a break and go inside one of the bars. From here on out, you'll have access to the common, and yet silly, shark gun. Now the only thing left to do is unleash its fury on unsuspecting enemies. Bye-bye! Do you like improving yourself? Learning a new skill that'll take you to unimaginable new heights? Then you should learn how to type on a keyboard!
Oh man, typing is hard. If only there was a software for this kind of thing.
Now there is! It's called Typing of the Dead! What better way to improve your typing skills than by fear of death?
Woo, yeah, alright!
Now there is a new Typing of the Dead game that just came out on Steam not too long ago. It's a rehashing of the classic idea with the newer House of the Dead game that came out on the Wii. But I'm going to choose the original game because... keyboard gun.
My god.
My god is right, because this gun is like the Ghostbusters proton pack of unleashing typing skills. Except instead of busting ghosts, you type really silly sentences in words. Available lady, peeping Tom, boner. Wait a sec.
How could anyone do this?
I gotta admit, you guys are looking real good with those big heads and keyboards.
No more fooling around.
Now I'm not sure where you stand on the whole murder thing. I mean, I could guess that you're probably against it, unless it's in a video game. Then obviously it's okay, right? Right? Postal 2 is probably the bottom of the barrel when it comes to a parody experience. I mean, there aren't many experiences I can think of as depraved or immature. The entire point of the game is to basically offend you as much as possible. And if it doesn't, then you're almost most certainly an average teenage boy. One of the more cruel and random things that you can do in this game is use cats as a silencer. On its own, pretty gross, right? But I must admit that once you start cheating at the game, things definitely get a little bit more silly. So bring up the console and type in Sissy to enable cheats, and then type in Rockin' Cats. This allows you to, well, shoot cats from your gun. Now, as terrible as that actually is, I don't really know what you could have expected from a game that is essentially a murder simulator. I mean, come on, your health power-up is a crack pipe. And you gotta admit, those are some pretty destructive cats. And with that, let's not prolong this any longer than it needs to be. I'll just leave you with this last thing. I feel bad now. Destroy all humans! A game where you run around as an alien, you know, doing all kinds of alien things. You know, death rays, psychic rays, electric rays, all the rays. Excuse me while I have to impersonate the mayor of this small town. Don't worry, citizens, nothing's the matter, nothing's the matter. That stuff from earlier, definitely normal. You know what, scratch that, it's definitely communism, it's back! Wow, who'd have thought I'd be really good at this whole politics thing? I should think about doing this full time.
Destroy All Humans is kind of an interesting and fun sandbox game that came out back on the PS2. It has a variety of silly weapons as you've already seen, but easily one of the most notorious weapons from this series is the anal probe.
You bet your sweet ass.
Yep, you heard me correctly, there is a gun that allows you to probe people. And as juvenile as that is, it is also kinda hilarious.
Army discipline. I have control of my bowels. This is gonna get real ugly. Here it comes. Space invaders!
Doesn't hurt so much. Wow, that really loosened me up. I don't think...
Also, I eventually perfected a new secret technique. I like to call it the 360 no probe. Okay, well, I wasn't that good at it. You can even probe the various wildlife around. Well, I did try to get the chickens, but eventually they committed mass suicide by drowning. Talked about Fallout 3 quite a bit. Maybe it's just the type of game that caters really well to lists. Maybe it's Old Lady Palmer's sweet rolls that keep me coming back for more. No, I'm not gonna give it to you, Butch. Quit asking. Old Lady Palmer would have given you one if she wanted you to have one. What were we talking about again?
Careful with that.
Oh right, guns. There's always been some pretty great guns in the Fallout series. I mean, there's anything from alien blasters to experimental nuke technology. Yay, death and destruction. Some of my favorite weapons have to be the ones that you can handcraft though. I have one in particular in mind, and in order to get this schematic, you have to travel to Megaton. Go to Moira's shop and ask her to trade. Then scroll down the list until you find the schematic for the rocket launcher. Once you grab it and have all the necessary materials, head over to the bench and create the weapon. Essentially what this weapon does is let you fire any trash that you find lying around. That means anything from pots and pans to tin cans and even burned books. My favorite thing to shoot, however, is teddy bears. Because nothing is more satisfying than wandering the wasteland shooting teddy bears at all manner of creatures and raiders with a force stronger than conventional weaponry. I mean, just look at this ridiculousness. I am the teddy bear king, all will bow to me. Hey there, would you like a second helping? Oh, no thanks, it looks like you're already stuffed. If that already wasn't enough, this in combination with one of the other weapons you can create can bring down some of the toughest enemies in the game. I call it the dart gun teddy bear combo. There's the dart, and in comes the teddy bears. Oh man, it's getting kinda spooky in here. Isn't there like aliens or something on here? Uh-oh. Are you okay? Dead Space 2. Now, I'll be honest, it's not typically the type of game I would play. I'm just not much of a horror game person myself, because when it comes to those types of games, I am El Baby. Wait a second. There we go. Now, in order to get the gun that we're about to talk about, you have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. Wait, what? So here I go, I'm going to beat the game on the hardest difficulty for you guys so I can show you this weapon. I'm doing that right now. After beating the game on the hardest difficulty, you'll unlock New Game Plus. This allows you to start the game again with all of your previous equipment. When you get to the first door though, you'll notice that you'll have a piece of equipment you didn't have before. The most ferocious and ultimate weapon you've ever seen in your entire life. Enemies will tremble before the power that is your foam finger. Simply holding out your finger and yelling bang is enough to take down the hardest foes. Psh, these guys aren't even hard now. I believe they have a word to describe situations like these. I think the word is skill. Oh no, demon babies! Oh no! Oh no. Now I feel like I'd never go back to playing the game normally. Curse you, game! Red Faction Armageddon, a game where you destroy everything.
That should do it.
It's fun! Red Faction Armageddon is a game that came out back in 2011, and it used the now famous Havoc physics engine to let you rain supreme destruction over your enemies by uniquely, and to much satisfaction, destroy your environment. So what does that mean? It means use hammers and magnets and
Other weapon thingies that you see here on your screen.
to kill various enemies and destroy your environment. Now, Red Faction is no stranger to silly weapons, and one of the more interesting weapon choices has to be from Red Faction Gorilla, where you could eventually replace your hammer with an ostrich. Red Faction Armageddon, however, has probably one of the most silly and entertaining weapons to ever grace video games. In order to get this weapon, you have to simply beat the game. There is a super secret hidden layer in the game that houses the weapon, but I actually messed that part up, so we're gonna act like it doesn't exist. Once you beat the game, though, you'll have access to the ultimate weapon. It goes by the name of Mr. Toots, a weaponized handheld unicorn that shoots laser beams from its butt. Oh, look at him, he's so, cute? Never mind, that's, definitely not the right word. I don't think there's much more I can say about this weapon, so here's me destroying things. Hey guys, I just want to take this moment to thank you guys so very much for watching my video. It really means a lot and I hope you guys liked it. And if you did and you want to get notified as to when I put out more videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button. You should also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, because I post super important things on there. All the time. I also want to take a moment to thank all my Patreon supporters, so special thanks to Harry Gaynor, Juan Holguin, Kalen Curran, and Lars. If you want some more videos to watch, I got 2 more for you right there. Mario bootleg games and the top 10 creepy Easter eggs in video games. Anyways, thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
My